So I get the question a lot from people is how do I figure out my sizing? How do I figure out how many shares to buy of a stock that I'm day trading? I'm going to talk about my theory and how I do it in this video. If you want to learn more about day trading and my journey to becoming a profitable day trader, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're a long-time active subscriber, thank you for your support so far. So I wanted to talk about today just what I think about when I'm trying to size into a trade. How do I figure out what my size is? How many shares do I buy? And how do I do it? It's not rocket science. It's not a secret formula. Really, it comes down to looking at the stock, figuring out where the stock's kind of heading, where it's going, how big of the move a stock is making, and then figuring out your risk. Figuring out how many shares you can buy without blowing up your account if it does go higher, if you do lose on the trade, if you want to max stop, if you want to only lose, $100, $200 per trade, how many shares should I buy if this stock is moving up $1, $2 in a matter of minutes? I really need to size in differently. So here, INSM. I ended up going short there at the $28 area. I saw that there was resistance there at the $29.50 area. I probably would have cut my loss a lot faster than that. But overall, I was just kind of looking at this stock. It was moving up $1, kind of $2 within these 5-minute candles. So you can see from 28 there, 46 down there to 27. So literally in those 5-minute candles, it was moving $1. I wanted to risk $1. I wanted to risk $100. So that means I was going to buy 100 shares. So I bought 100 shares of this stock. I bought 150 at one point. And it was a little bit not moving as sporadically, but really there at open, the stock moves around a lot. It's very volatile there at open. You can see there right here dropping from $29.50 down there to $27.46. So if you were long there, if you went long there at $29.50, and if you're trying to get out with a max loss of $200 and this thing drops $2 on you, and you had 300, 400 shares, you would have got cut out really quickly and you would have lost a lot. So really the big thing is figuring out what's your max loss. What's your maximum loss that you want to lose on a trade? A lot of times when I'm trading, I try to keep my max loss to $200, $300. Really, I should try to keep it lower. Right now, I'm trading a little bit smaller size. This week, I wanted to really focus on just kind of entries and not so much worried about the emotional side. With larger size, when you have a larger size, there's more emotion to it. You get out differently. You think differently when you have thousands of shares. The risk is a lot bigger there, and you think differently. So for me, this week, I'm really just focusing on smaller size, kind of capitalizing on the move here. You can see INSM. I did not capitalize on this move as this thing went from $29.50 down there to $24 there in the middle of the day. So big sell-off there. It was up 100%. Now it actually came back to $27. So it's been bouncing around. But just to give you guys an idea, I'm trying to basically buy the amount of shares for every single trade differently in the idea of looking at where the stock is going, where it's been, how volatile it is, and what's my maximum loss. So a stock like INSM, if I'm going short there at $29.50 and I see that it's moving up $1, I'm basically going to buy 100 shares. If I only want to lose $100, there you go. I buy 100 shares, it goes up $1, I'm out. So I get out there for a $100 loss. Maybe it goes a little higher. Give myself some wiggle room, but I'm not going to load up 1,000 shares on a stock like this. You could lose out huge quickly if this wanted to turn around, if this wanted to go bigger and it really wanted to squeeze on you. You had 1,000 shares of this stock and your maximum loss is only $200. Boom, you're going to be out of that stock very fast. You're only 20 cents in and out. So you got to be careful and really be thinking about your maximum loss. So maximum loss is the key here. That's when sizing really matters. So you're thinking about the sizing, you're thinking about your maximum loss. So you're looking at PULM. I'm looking to get in here. Let's say I'm getting here above this high here at 230. And I see the stock is kind of bounced, it makes a 10-cent move. It goes from 230 down there to 220 area, kind of bouncing. Most of these moves are about 10 cents. 10 cents on most of these candles here in the 5-minute chart. So I'm thinking, okay, I can buy 1,000 shares of this stock, and if it drops 10 cents, I'm going to lose $100. So that's not bad. I can do that. I can buy 1,000 shares. If my maximum loss is $300 per trade, and I want to only lose maximum, ballpark. Obviously, sometimes these stocks are going to really crash hard. Something crazy is going to happen. But in general, my maximum loss, if it's $300, I want to get out for a $300 loss. I can buy 3,000 shares of this stock. If it starts to crash fast, obviously, I'm going to get out quicker. But you got to really be thinking about that. So you're thinking about the risk reward, you're thinking about the sizing, thinking about your maximum loss, and I'm always thinking about my maximum loss. So I go into a trade, what's the maximum amount of money that I'm going to risk to be able to make some money? So here, if I get in 10 cents, this thing goes up 10, 20 cents. I got 3,000 shares, boom, just made $600. So really, I'm thinking about that. You got to be thinking constantly. Every stock's different. So I could buy 1,000 shares of PULM. I'm looking at this, it's okay. It's moving around 10 cents. You got about a 10 cents drop up, down. So I can get in there with 1,000 shares. I can risk $100. If my maximum loss is $100, I can buy 1,000 shares. Give myself a little bit of wiggle room, maybe like 800 shares. But in general, I can kind of Think about that. That's one thing I'm always thinking about. Okay, I look at this stock, look at the chart, seeing where the support is, seeing where the previous resistance is. So if I'm looking to get in here above this 230 area, I see the support there, the 223 area. It's kind of getting some support there, 226. It's looking pretty good. So if I get in there at 230, I'm like, okay, that's good. I'll get 1,000 shares at 230. I'm going to keep my stop loss there at the 225 area, possibly 220 if I really want to get greedy there. You can see it actually came down here to 220 there. Bounce off 220 on that candle. But in general, kind of give myself that 10-cent drop, 1,000 shares, lose $100. And that's kind of how it works. I'm always thinking about my maximum loss, and that's the big thing to think about. I don't want to go and buy 5,000 shares of this stock just because I can. Say if I have $10,000 in buying power, I don't want to go and buy 3,000 or 4,000 shares of this stock just because I can. It's not about just buying as many shares as you can of each stock. It's really focusing on the maximum loss. This stock drops 10 cents. I had 5,000 shares. I lose $500 in a matter of seconds. So I really need to be careful. Same thing, like I said earlier with the INSM. Stock is moving faster. It's got bigger moves. It's moving $1. So I can really only buy 100, 200 shares when it's moving up, down, $1. So if my maximum loss is $100, $200, I got to be careful and think about that constantly. And that's how you manage your losses, manage your risk. You got to be very strict to that. You got to keep your losses tight. You got to keep that maximum loss consistent. If your maximum loss is $100 and you're keeping that consistent, $100 every single day for like a month, and that's my goal. For the month, my maximum loss is $100. I'm looking to take profit, over $100. If I can make $100, $200 on each trade, keep my maximum loss at $100 and control my losses, cut my losses fast, and be able to build up that cushion. Boom, 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 making profit and keeping my losses small. And that's really the goal here. So always thinking about my maximum loss, thinking about my sizing, thinking about the trade, thinking about the stock, seeing where it's been bouncing around, seeing the moves that it's making. If a stock's really volatile, it's really crazy, it's making huge, crazy moves, I want to keep with a smaller size. So hopefully that gives you guys an idea of how I think about it when I'm trying to figure out my sizing on a trade. In the morning, when I start trading, I'll kind of have a game plan like, okay, today I'm going to go with smaller size. So I'm going to trade safer. I'm going to trade with smaller size. I'm going to keep that consistent. I'm not going to trade my first trade with small size and then the next trade go huge. Because if I win on the first trade, I get confident and go large on the next trade, and then I lose big. It doesn't work out that way. So if I have one small win and then one large loss, obviously the large loss is going to take over the win. So I got to be consistent and keep that maximum loss consistent throughout the day. Throughout the week, however you're trading, really focus on keeping a consistent maximum loss and sizing. So really be consistent with your sizing and make sure that you're consistently keeping that same size through all the trades that you're making. Kind of figure it out. So if I want to keep a maximum loss for a week, I want to keep a maximum sizing for a week, kind of get an idea. And then kind of have that game plan of what your sizing is going to be for that week, what your maximum loss is going to be.